Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And Crimsix was going absolutely rogue on stream last night, bringing Dashy into the conversation and arguably trying to get Dashy to turn to the dark side and become one of the villains of the scene. We saw a couple of weeks ago now that Dashy was implying looking to get revenge potentially on OpTic in the future. Could Crimsix try and help that to happen? Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. I thought this is kind of hilarious here from CDL Pal because Hitch's 30th birthday was last night, and I think he's a big Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. And we can see here we've got the fire emojis. I actually used to use these fire emojis sometimes, but nowadays it's usually just the chilies, which is probably on this video. But yeah, still, I thought it was kind of funny that Pal was like, you know, bro's birthday party is TacticalRab themed. Now, Stage 2 Fantasy on Breaking Point is now officially open. Pick your team of 4, $25 budget, of course, completely free to enter. Prizes on the line as well. The best team that you guys pick over the course of the qualifiers and Major 2 will get $100 in the bank. These are the new pricings for the various players. There's, well, Clay is 6, Pred is 10, and I think it's a bit of a mess because there's no Dashy and, like, the OpTic situation is a mess. I think we're going to maybe update it over the coming days or something, but to not delay things further and for you guys to get involved, it is now open as it stands. This is the team of 4 that I'm going with. Shotzzy is only $5 after presumably a rather rough Stage 1. I imagine that's kind of a regression to the mean thing where he should perform better than his $5 worth. So I'm going to take Shotzzy. Scraps as well. I looked at London's kind of, you know, the teams they have to play, and they're not too bad. It's kind of the same thing I did with Brack, kind of successfully in Major 1. I went for Brack. He was a $4 pick because I knew that he was going to drop decent numbers, even if Florida didn't get results. I think Scraps can be the same, but he's always been a player that's, you know, played for kills in the same way, usually a bit of a slayer. So for $4, I think that might work out kind of well. There's probably many better options than this. I wanted, therefore, having spent only $9 there, I thought, you know what, I've got to get a $10 pick, and I went for Scrappy. Can't not get Scrappy. Toronto don't have the hardest run either in the qualifiers, and then I needed a $6 pick, and methods seemed to make the most sense there. There was Octane as well, a couple of other options, but that's my team. I don't think it's great, but you know, you guys I'm sure can do a better job if you sign. I'm at the link below, all that type of stuff. Plenty of things to dive into. Quickly, this on a glitch, it seems, in Control. Wonder if we're going to see too much of this going forwards, but basically what happens here is that they get 4 dead on the other team at a very similar time, and they kill the final guy off the point here, and there's 5 seconds on the clock, 5.3 seconds. You would think at this point that, you know, the points having been cleared, that the clock would now start running down, but it doesn't. The clock stays. It says clearing the points, but, you know, nonetheless, the clock isn't running down for some reason. So, yeah, bit of a glitch there, and I'm not exactly sure what causes that, but nonetheless, rather a big deal because, yeah, if the clock just stops running down when it should be, then, yeah, that's a bit of an issue. Quick clip here from Clay, so I thought was kind of funny. I mean, look at this. I mean, Albagra Fortress is out of control, but Zero just gets completely torched here by Claystar, comes flying out the window with a pistol, and Zero's like, what is going on? It goes down. But, I mean, yes, you can even see here, Asim, Nasty, Zero, Scraps is the team of 4. That is now confirmed. Now, wanted to talk about Attach quickly, of course, long-time teammate of Claystar. He did kind of an interesting timing, really, with all the OpTic stuff happening. A Q&A on Reddit, or an AMA, really, on Reddit last night. People ask him anything. He gives some rather interesting answers. I wanted to go through a few of the interesting ones that I found interesting, at least. Favorite teammate either he gives to accuracy, the fact that, you know, his team with Zuma, team with plenty of other players in his career that he's really enjoyed playing with, but rated accuracy above them all, which is quite impressive. We know that he teamed with him on EG and also teamed with him on, you know, New York Subliners, for example, and we know that Attach loves accuracy, but nonetheless, you know, accuracy getting this much praise from a guy like Attach is, you know, quite indicative of why accuracy has been deemed to be so crucial to the success of that Seattle Surge team so far. Also, this was probably the biggest bombshell. How long do you see yourself competing for in the future? 2 more seasons, 3 max. And we feel like Attach is, I mean, Attach looks the same as he did when he was 18. The guy still looks very young, but, you know, nonetheless, he's, what, 26 now? So, you know, 2 more seasons, 3 max to be 28, 29. I think it's understandable that he'll want to retire at that point and maybe go out doing a tryout year, which probably makes a fair bit of sense. So, I think he even mentioned elsewhere that after failing to qualify for the Black Ops 4 Pro League when he was on FaZe back in the day, he actually thought about quitting then. Didn't, made it back in. They bought out another franchise this time, or bought another team, this type of stuff. But, yeah, only 2 more seasons, maybe 3 more. So, probably that means this season and next. And I imagine he'll want to compete for at least 1 year of the tryout game. But, yeah, intrigued to your thoughts on that in the comment section below. Also confirming, like, his favourite Call of Duty ever. He gives it to either Black Ops 4 or Advanced Warfare for competitive, but Black Ops 2 overall, I think a pretty good answer. And also this one, which retired pro do you wish you could have teamed with the most, gives it to Crimsix. I think it's understandable, but, you know, again, accuracy, Crimsix definitely very high up Attach's pecking order in terms of teammates that he loves having, or at least would have loved to have if he get a team with Crim. And one final final one here from this AMA. Best player you've ever played against. Can either, you know, be specific, and he actually gives some specifics. So this is also goes to show why Huke is still, even though Huke might not be nowadays the greatest player in the world, like he's still considered by the pros to be unbelievable, because back in Advanced Warfare when he first came into the game, this guy was ridiculous to play against. And Attach says basically the best ever player he's played against was Huke in Advanced Warfare, even with Scump in Advanced Warfare and other players in various games. AW Huke was a menace, and or Cold War, FaZe, or Simp, which is quite a good answer as well, because they were just so difficult to stop. So that was kind of the highlights, I thought, of the AMA. Let's talk about some of the drama on stream then last night. So Zuma, Crimsix, everyone was getting involved after the OpTic stuff was happening last night, and I mean, look, Ian Porter, Crimsix is out of control. This guy is a complete menace. The stuff he says all the time is ridiculous, but usually rather entertaining to say at the very least. So we got Dashy on the call, and look, he gave various thoughts. Firstly, on Dashy, the amount of like hate he was getting, and in fairness, like Dashy agreed a fair bit with what Crimsix said on his podcast the other day, that when you play for OpTic, it's kind of like a low, well, it's a low reward, high risk situation. When you lose, you get absolutely shredded, and it's not fun at all to be on the receiving end of that. But when you win, you don't even get that much credit for it, really. So Dashy kind of implies the same thing that Crimsix said the other day, and you know, I think Zuma didn't quite catch it, but that's basically what he says, and says that, yeah, when you lose for OpTic, it's not looking particularly good. A couple of other things that Crimsix was talking about here, and just going completely rogue on various topics, wanted to share for you guys as well. But yeah, this whole getting Dashy into the Crimsix conversation, trying to maybe not exactly turn him into a villain, and Dashy is kind of defensive of the green wall, understandably, been there for 4+ years, but yeah, nonetheless, Crim and Dashy, they did team back in the day on the OpTic team in the Black Ops 4 season, right at the start of it, and well, towards the end, which wasn't so successful for them compared to what they wanted to achieve, but yeah, nonetheless, pretty spicy stuff.
Cowboys,
Tommy,
right?
shut up. Tommy, shut up. Yo, Brandon, get on this call. Me and Tommy. Brandon, I'm putting you on speaker in front of the mic. When you lose on OpTic, it's not fun, right?
It's not great. Not great at all.
And I quote, he said, "Oh, 100% originally." He said it like, "Yo, that shit is the worst."
Yeah, but bro, ask him how it feels winning. How does it feel winning on OpTic?
No, it's like if you win, it's like it's just what else. But if you lose, it's like the end of the world.
More like, dude, you know what probably hit Tej the hardest was when I literally met his brother, and within 5 minutes, I said, "You're awesome. You're a good person. What went wrong with Tej?"
Bro, what am I? I don't know what to say to that. Like,
yeah, that's because I don't speak homie anymore.
Bro, you're not.
I'm not apologizing to anybody about that.
Bro.
You idiots.
I think I gotta join Tommy on the Papano.
Regame, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. This is why I end up ripping this. Porter, you gotta calm down, Porter. Relax, Porter. Take it easy.
How about I just 1v6 you guys in this team speak and feel good about myself later on?
No,
Hey, Crim, I thought we were on the same side.
So wait, what?
Okay, you're right, Brandon. Ceasefire.
Friendly fire.
Bro, can you come play some Mosh Pit, please?
How come you didn't respond to my text, bro?
No, here's the thing, right? People say, you know, Seth has pressure. He probably does, but at the end of the day, he's the only player in the league who could retire right here, right now, and not work a day for the rest of his life.
What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean with anything? What does that mean?
I'm saying, bro, if
he earned that,
I know, obviously.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what, dude. When people donate and like, I'm sitting there like, bro, Seth is accomplished. I've accomplished, and he still gets subs, still gets donations. I'm hella jelly about that, right? Because I'm sitting there like, yo, he earned everything that he has. Like, and I don't care who you are, you got to respect that, right? That's besides the point. Scump is one of the only players, if not the only one, who would never have to work a day in his life. If I would honestly castrate myself to switch spots.
So what are your thoughts on this, right? I mean, Crim, like, every time he turns the stream, it's absolutely out of control. The amount of beef that he has with various players, I do think is pretty hilarious, to be honest. Like, he beefs with everyone. I think he challenged Karma to various different things, but I'm more interested in that kind of relationship there between Crim and Dashy now, because back in the day, the relationship there was very fractious. During the Black Ops 4 season, it was quite clear that Crimsix had a different mindset about practice and, you know, winning, let's say, than Dashy did. Obviously, over time, it's turned out that Crimsix probably knows how to win better than Dashy does, but nonetheless, having Dashy Dashy now been dropped from that team, and maybe Dashy almost feels in a similar boat to where Crimsix is. Like, Crimsix got dropped, and the words he said there on Scump about ideally wanting to be in Scump's shoes where he doesn't have to work a day in his life, always gets the love. And I think Crimsix appreciated the green wall while he was there on OpTic, and then when he got dropped from the team or like removed from the team, then all of a sudden those fans disappeared, and he was thinking, okay, well, these guys are so fickle, I suppose, in terms of the fan base. So that's always, you know, Crimsix obviously has got some animosity against practically everyone. This the whole burned bridges idea. But yeah, kind of getting Dashy on side here a little bit, getting him to talk about the fact that a green wall wasn't always so friendly and welcoming is kind of, I don't know if he's trying to make him into this villain arc, but I do think that Dashy's redemption arc is going to be very interesting, or his revenge arc to a certain extent. Wherever he ends up going, is he going to be able to, you know, get his revenge on OpTic, right, knock them out of champs or whatever? It's going to be very interesting. I think the green wall will miss what Dashy brought. He felt like family really in that OpTic camp for the last few years. Or does Crimsix expect to happen to Dashy what happened to him, where as soon as he leaves, the love for the green wall to that player disappears as well? I suppose we'll see how that one develops over time. So definitely intrigued to your thoughts on that one. And of course, yeah, Dashy, I do wonder if he's thinking about a similar tweet to this that he did after subbing in for the OGLA roster at the end of, well, of the Modern Warfare World Championship, when he then tweeted this out, "See you guys in Cold War," to, well, a rapturous applause from around the community at the time. A few things to mention here before we close out the video. Firstly, 2 days ago, it seems, a Scump solo autograph card finished at over $1,000. Now, again, I don't know if, like, how legit this is, because a couple of guys have been pointing out to me more examples of the fake bidding, right, that goes on in these sports card auctions. But, I mean, yeah, apparently 67 bids at 1.375 grand. Impressive stuff. And there's been people pulling, like, the 1 of 25 cards, right, and you've got the number 1 on it, it makes it more valuable, stuff like this. So, yeah, still a crazy market, but still just be careful about this, because some of this stuff, the pricing, it might not necessarily always be legitimate on it. There was also a question here that the flank raised, what's the best ever roster move? I think there's some good questions here. I suppose in the CDL era, you've got to really look at maybe Arcitys to FaZe, because the success they had that season, would they have had that success without Arcitys? Maybe not, but it's still a top one. And of course, well, CWL era, you've got to really think about, even though that was kind of pre-CWL, but Formal and Crimsix to OpTic was pretty unbelievable as well. When they pulled that off at the time, Karma, of course, came in due course. The other question I saw raised on Reddit the other day was, and we'll kind of look at that in regard to this tweet, but it was like, who are in Call of Duty history the biggest underachievers and the biggest overachievers? Now, for underachievers, people were saying, you know, the likes of Dashy, because, you know, talents compared to wins. I think that's understandable. Maybe even Huke as well falls into a similar category. But overachievers, I thought was kind of interesting. People talking about accuracy, people talking about JCap and stuff. But looking at a list like this is the longest yearly streak of making a grand final starting from their rookie year. Crimsix, Scump and JCap hold the joint record of 10 seasons in a row making a grand finals. I guess that might have been broken for Scump in the Cold War season, but I know that JCap was coming up a lot in terms of like an overachieving player, but I feel like it's almost kind of disrespectful though, because, okay, JCap never has shot the straightest, at least in modern times, of any player, but back in the day he was considered the best in the world in Black Ops 1, has made so many grand finals, won 2 world championships, won countless events, and yeah, I don't know, maybe nowadays people see JCap as like, okay, wasn't really that good of a player, but still delivered results, but it's like, yeah, he was a really good player in his day, and saying it, he kind of overachieved almost seems disrespectful, but I don't know if you can say anyone overachieved and not be disrespectful to a certain extent. Maybe overachieved compared to their raw skill at shooting the weapon, but not necessarily overachieved compared to what they brought to teams, I would potentially argue. But yeah, intrigued to your thoughts on that in the comment section below. And speaking of JCap, this of course a legendary comeback from a few years ago now, the World Championship between Envy and United, with the unbelievable comeback they made on Precinct Uplink. But very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.